Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are all doing fine. So children, welcome to today's school readiness program for 8th standard. You know children, who's come today? Minchu and Sinchu. You know why they have come? For that children, you need to watch this video.
Hey Sinchu, come, let's go and play.
No, Minchu. Mummy said she'll give me reading test, so I'm practicing.
Okay then, you read. I'll go and play with my dolls then.
Wait, Minchu. Can you please help me in reading? I'll read, you see if I'm reading it correctly, okay?
Okay, read.
Once there lived a king in an island. He was very fond of buying knives. One day, while he was walking in his garden, he heard his servant talking.
Wait Sinchu, what are you reading?
Why? What happened?
You are pronouncing some words incorrectly.
Is it? Will you please help me pronounce them correctly?
Okay, see Sinchu, some letters are not pronounced and they are called silent letters.
Silent letters? What are they?
For example, you read island. It is not island, it is island because the letter S is silent. Now pronounce the word island.
Island.
Very good. And it is not knives, it is knives.
Here the letter K is silent, right?
Absolutely right. And it is not walking and talking, it is walking and talking. And the letter L is silent.
Oh, walking and talking. Minchu, I want to know more about silent letters. Can you please teach me?
Sure, Sinchu, but my teacher can teach you better. We have a English class now. Let's go.
Okay, let's not waste time and listen to her.
So children, did you all see why did they all come? Now, probably even you have this question, why there are silent letters in English? Yes? Now, the first reason is English words have been borrowed from Latin, Greek, Dutch and Japanese. For instance, children, tsunami is actually a Japanese word and psychology comes from Greek. The second reason is this, children. Due to the standardization of sounds in English language, it retained the spelling and pronunciations were changed. So, you got it why we have so many silent letters? Now, let's not waste time children and let's go to the rules to use silent letters, okay? The first rule children, K is silent before N. For example, see the word knuckle, there the K is silent. Next, knee, here K is again silent. Next, in the word knock, here we have K as silent. Now children, see the word W here, yes, here the letter W is silent, right? Then in wrist, here also the W is silent. And even in the word wrong children, we do not pronounce wrong, we say wrong where W is not pronounced. See here children, B is often silent after M. For example, in the word comb, you say comb and don't say comb. And even here, you don't say plumber, you should say plumber. Even in the word lamb, see, you say only lamb, you don't say lamb, okay. Next, N is often silent after M. In the word autumn, also in the word column, see N is silent there. Then in the word hymn, here N is silent children. Next children, L is not pronounced after the vowels A, O and U. For example, walk, chalk, fork, would, should, could. I've heard many children saying would, could. So you should not say that. You should say would, should and could. Okay. Now, D is not pronounced in the following common words, children. For example, handkerchief. So many of us say handkerchief. No, it's not like that. It's you should say handkerchief. Then you will say handsome. No, you should say handsome. Wednesday. Most of us say Wednesday. It's not Wednesday, it's Wednesday. And sandwich, your favorite. So next time when you go to any shop, you will say, you will ask for sandwich and not sandwich. Okay. Now, T is not pronounced in these common words, children. For example, castle, listen, often and whistle. Now children, draw these columns. Column silent B, silent K and silent W, and also draw silent T, silent D and silent M. I will say some words and you have to listen to each word and put them in the right column in the table. Are you all ready? Yes, children. Okay, I shall start with the first word, knife. So start writing in those columns, children. Wrist, listen, sandwich, comb, column, no, wrong, tomb, Wednesday, whistle, walk, fork, hymn. Okay, have you all put this in the respective columns, children? Now, shall we check your answers then? Under the column silent B, we have comb and tomb, and under silent K, we have knife and knob. Under silent W, we have wrist and wrong. Under silent T, we have listen and whistle. Under silent D, we have sandwich and Wednesday. And under silent M, we have column and hymn. Very good, children. Good work, children. Oh, look at this. Who is this? Yeah, and looks like his friend is also coming and peeping what he is doing. Hey Raghu, what are you fixing? So Raghu is saying, hey Peter, I am fixing few prefixes. So he is wondering, prefixes? What are these prefixes? Children, even you want to know what are these prefixes, right? Come, let's see this through an example. Deepak and Lohit are good friends. See, they like dancing but dislike painting. Unlike Deepak, who is always regular to work, Lohit has to take care of his old father. So he is irregular to work. Both Deepak and Lohit are comfortable dancing together during lunch break, but they feel uncomfortable when others are looking at them. Now children, let's understand prefixes through these sentences. Now, here in this story, we came across the word comfortable, right? Here, comfortable is the root word. Now, for this, we are prefixing un here. What are we doing? We are prefixing it before where? Before the root word and forming a new word. It has become uncomfortable. Okay, so opposite of comfortable is uncomfortable. For example, Deepak and Lohit are comfortable dancing together, but they feel uncomfortable when others are looking at them. Now look at this word like, children. Like, as you know, it is the root word. For this, let's add this and also let's add un. So it has become dislike and unlike. But you know, dislike means opposite and unlike means different. Let us know this through an example. Deepak and Lohit are good friends. They like dancing but they dislike painting. Here the word like and dislike, they both are opposite words, children. Here, unlike Deepak who is regular to work, Lohit is irregular to work. So, what is the word unlike doing here? It is pointing out that Deepak and Lohit are different. Yes. Children, now let's see some opposite words with prefixes. For example, happy, unhappy. Correct, incorrect. Play, replay. Possible, impossible. Yes, children, all this time you got to know few prefixes, right? Now, let's have some prefix fun. The game is like this. I will tell you a phrase, for example, not happy, and you have to tell the answer. So, if I say not happy, your answer is unhappy, right? Okay. Now, let me give out the phrases, children. Now, guess the word correctly. Tell again. What is it? Yes, it is retell. Not locked? Yes, it is unlocked. Don't like? It's dislike. Not possible? Impossible. Very good, children. Now, children, now try to fill in the blanks with the correct prefix to the underlined word. Raju's answer was correct, but Satish's answer was dash. So, here the underlined word is correct. For this, now add the correct prefix there. So, your answer will be incorrect. Now, look at the second sentence, children. It is possible to feel the air, but dash to hold it. Yes, the underlined word is possible. Now, you have to add the correct prefix un, in or m. So, what would be the correct prefix there, children? Think. Is it impossible, impossible, or impossible? Yes, it is impossible. Okay, very good, children. High five. You have done a good job. Now, let's watch this video. Okay. So, children, you just watched the video on how plastic is so dangerous to us, right? But in spite of this, somehow we cannot live without plastic. So, just read this paragraph, children. People are foolish to use plastic extensively. Some people think that the argument against the use of plastic is meaningless. Only when people come to know about its threat, it will be a remarkable achievement. This awareness has to be created, isn't it, children? Now, look at these words, children. Look at the letters underlined in the words below here. Foolish, argument, meaningless, remarkable, achievement and awareness. Here, children, we have added few letters at the end of the word to form a new word. For example, we have formed the word foolish by adding fool plus ish, and argument by adding argue and meant, and we have formed meaningless by adding meaning plus less. And look at remarkable. Yes, we have added remark plus able. Same way with achievement, we have added achieve plus meant. Awareness, here also we have added aware plus ness. Children, what are these addition of letters at the end of a word called? Remember, you've studied this in 7th standard. Yes, I can hear some of you calling out the answer. Yes, they are called as suffixes. So look at the picture, children, how we have suffixes there. You learned prefixes, right? Now, what is the difference between prefix and suffix? Now, for the root word, we add prefix in the beginning and suffix at the end. Let us see that through an example. Let's take the word uncomfortable. Here, comfort is the root word, right? And we have added un as the prefix here. That is in the beginning of the word comfort, and so it is a prefix. And we have added able at the end of the word, and so it is a suffix. So, I am sure there is no confusion, right? Yes, children. Now, why don't you use words in the given cloud to make your own words with suffixes? Yes. Now, look at these words, children. Aware, care, trouble and comfort. So, you have to use the other words here like ness, some, less, able, ios, ive. All these are suffixes. So, you have to use the correct suffix to the word given there. Okay, will you be able to match it, children? Yes, I am sure you are trying. Yes, children. Shall we see the answer then? Okay, the words are awareness, careless, troublesome and comfortable. Yes, children. Now, you have learned some suffixes, right? Now, complete the words that describe the picture below. Use the suffix from the brackets. Okay. Now, look at this picture. Rekha looks so life dash, but Seema is so dash. Look at Seema running and Rekha probably bored after the lockdown. So, what is the suffix you will use? Yes, you should say less. Rekha looks so lifeless, but Seema is so lively. Very good, children. Now, let's take another example. Rita is my best friend. The best thing about her is her dash. Is it ness or meant? Which one will suit better, children? Yes, it is kindness. Is the correct suffix for kind. Very good, children. You have done a good job. Okay, children. You are waiting for this time. Which is that time? Story time. So, watch the story and come back.
Gul, Jojo and Hop are very excited. They come rushing up to Crow wanting to tell him something. But they are so excited that they all speak at the same time, trying to describe what they have just seen by the pond. Gul says, "We just saw a strange, colorful." Jojo interrupts saying, "He had such bright." Hop joins in saying, "I have never ever." Crow tells them to calm down. Crow tells them to complete their sentences so he can understand what they mean. They begin speaking again. Gul says, "We just saw a strange, colorful creature." Jojo adds, "He had such bright colors on his body." And Hop says, "I have never ever seen anything like it before." Crow now understands what they are saying. He tells them he will go with them to try and solve this mystery. But he has one condition. He will be the one to speak to this creature. And he will ask questions to find out what it is. They find the strange, colorful thing near the pond. Crow says, "Oh, colorful creature, we have never seen anything like you. Can you run faster than Gul?" The creature nods. Then Crow asks, "Can you jump higher than Jojo?" The creature nods again. Finally, Crow asks, "Can you swim faster than Hop?" The creature nods, jumps into the pond and starts swimming away. But look at this. As it swims, its pretty colors wash off and everyone sees that the creature is Popo. They call him back. Popo explains that he stumbled into a puddle of paint and became all colorful. So he thought he would fool his friends. You are a naughty boy, says Hop. I knew it was you, says Gul. What a waste of time, says Crow. You could never fool me, says Jojo. Come on, says Popo. Pull me out of the water now.
Children, did you like the story? Yes, even I loved it. Children, how are they all talking? Yes, they are using sentences. What is a sentence? Now, look at this example. Came Rajani home yesterday. Oh, you are confused what I am trying to say, right? But if I said Rajani came home yesterday, yes, it makes sense, doesn't it? So, what is a sentence? It's a group of words arranged in order to make complete sense. It's called a sentence. Now, just like words which play different role in sentence, sentence too play different roles, children. You want to see how? Now, look at this example. We saw a strange creature. Okay, this was said by Gul. What is he doing here? He is making a statement, right? So, all the statements are called as assertive sentence. So, what is an assertive sentence? An assertive sentence state, assert or declare something. They are simple statements. For example, Jonah is a pretty girl and she loves puppies. Now, can you jump higher than Jojo? You know who asked this? Yes, it's the crow which asked, okay. So, what is he doing here? He is asking a question. Now, what are these questions called in English, children? They are called as interrogative sentence. So, what is an interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentence asks a question. It ends with a question mark. Can you see that? For example, how are you? Next, see here the crow is complaining, what a waste of time. So, here he is expressing sudden feelings. So, what are these sentences called, children? Yes, they are called as exclamatory sentence. So, what do? So, exclamatory sentence, they express sudden and strong feelings such as surprise, wonder, pity, anger, happiness. Okay. Now, an exclamatory sentence ends with an exclamation mark. For example, what a beautiful bird. Keep quiet. Here, what is a crow doing, children? Yes, is ordering or commanding. So, what are such sentences called? They are called as imperative sentence. So, an imperative sentence gives a command, makes a request or expresses a wish. So, for example, Vivek, don't touch those books. It's an order, right? Please close the door. So, what are we doing here? We are requesting. We wish you a safe journey. So, what are you doing here, children? You are wishing. So, all these are examples of imperative sentence. Now that you have known the different kinds of sentence, why don't you identify the type of sentence now? Will you do it? Yes. Now, look at the first sentence. How well she sings. What is your name? She is a successful writer. Get lost. Please be seated. Now, you have to identify the type of sentence here. Yeah, shall we see the answer? How well she sings. What is it? It's an exclamatory because you are exclaiming your feelings there, right? What is your name? What are you doing there? You are asking a question. So, it is an interrogative. She is a successful writer. So, what are you doing here? You are just asserting. You are making a simple statement. So, it is an assertive sentence. Get lost. so you are ordering, so it is imperative. And please be seated, so you are requesting, right? So it is imperative. Now can you match the sentence with the correct pictures, children? Yes. Now look at those pictures, children. Can you see those pictures? Yes. Now let me give you the statements here. Please stop. I am a doctor. What a nice feeling. Can I come in? So I am sure you have already matched it. Now shall we see the answer? I am a doctor. Please stop. Can I come in? What a nice feeling. Wonderful job, children. Very good. Now that you have learnt the different types of sentence, why don't we try to write a paragraph? Yes, come on, let's write a paragraph after seeing this video.
Pearls of Wisdom. Minds Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
You know, children, this poem is written by this great person. Yes, he is none other than our own Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was born on 7th May 1861. He has inspired generation of people through his writing, poetry and thoughts. His much acclaimed work, Geetanjali, is a collection of poems, won him prestigious Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. Also, Rabindranath Tagore wrote Jana Gana Mana, the national anthem for our country, India. Some of his famous short stories include Kabuliwala, The Postmaster, The Hungry Stone, Asambhav Katha and many other stories. Some famous novels of his includes Nauka Dubi, Gora, Chaturang, Chokar Bali and many more. He died on August 7th, 1941, but he lives eternally in our hearts through his works. So children, you learnt how to write a smart paragraph, right? Now we have come to the end of this class, children. So now let's go to the assignment. So let me give you a small assignment, children. The first question is, you have to add suitable prefixes and suffixes for the following words. First one is dash happy. Second one is color dash. Third one is dash perfect. And fourth one is fool dash. Second question is, underline the silent letter for these words. Right, knob, Wednesday. Now, write a short story using different type of sentences. And fourth one, write a short paragraph on Rabindranath Tagore. Now children, I am sure you will do the homework, right? And thank you children for listening to my class, and until next time, take care and meet you in the next class. Bye bye.